Hi everyone, my name is Christina and I'm an implementation consultant at Prosymmetry. In this video, I will be reviewing how to create SPM objects in Tempus Portfolio. SPM objects are created to define the levels of your portfolio hierarchy. In the Strategic Portfolio tile, you can use the out-of-the-box object options, create custom SPM objects, and define what is available for each SPM object level. So let's take a look at how this works in your Strategic Portfolio tile. First, let me show you a few examples of SPM objects in action. Here is my portfolio hierarchy, and I can see different layers which are created by using objects. So my first object is called Theme, that's defining the topmost layer of my hierarchy. My second object is called Objective, creating that second layer down. And my third layer or object is called Initiative, defining that third layer. And then the project level will always be the same. Of course, it could be called something else through your alias options in admin settings, but it will exist no matter what. Now let's go into your SPM admin settings to see how to create objects. So we're going to click into admin settings and then this SPM configuration tile. Within this tile, we want to be on this objects tab. And you can see there are a lot more SPM objects here than we are currently using in our hierarchy. That's because out of the box, when you first come into the screen, there will be a number of objects that already exist for you to use in case you need a jumping off point. Objects like portfolio, program, milestone, organization, etc. You can choose to either edit those existing objects to give them a new name or potentially enable different features, or you can create your own. So let's walk through an example of that. To create a new object, you will just click Create here, and you will give it a name. So let's call this object Epic. It will be defaulted to active, meaning that it can be used in the hierarchy. You can give it an alias as well if you wish, and choose a color. Next, you will define which attributes are available to associate with this object. So I'm going to choose all of the ones that define my epics. Then you will define which features of Tempus are available to configure at this object level. So for this, our recommendation would be to just go ahead and enable every feature to start, and then you can scale that back as you determine which ones you will and won't be using at each object level. Then, to effectively use the financials aspect of each object, you will define which financial categories should be included in the roll-up of calculations. Financial categories, as you may be aware, are created within your general admin settings area of Tempus. So I'm going to enable all financial categories at this object. Related to financials, you can also define here which data set your labor cost should roll up from. Typically, this is the allocation data set where most organizations are doing their resource planning. Finally, you can determine which feature of the object should be the landing page when you open it up. For this, I would recommend making your strategic alignment area the landing page, just because it will be most commonly used. And then you'll go ahead and click Create. And you have a new SPM object here at the bottom. Then what this means is if you go back to our home screen and into the Strategic Portfolio tile, we can use this object in practice here and add it to our hierarchy. This wraps up how to create SPM objects. I would encourage you to take a look at the Help Center section on this feature as well for an additional resource. Thanks so much and have a great day.